The movie starts with Millie Calloway, our protagonist, arriving at the Winchester house. She had been looking for a job. Nina Winchester has been looking for a housemaid, so Millie is coming to take that opportunity. Nina explains about the duties she has to take. Nina considers this as an interview. Millie has lied in her CV that she has a college degree, and Nina says she is overqualified for this job. Millie says she is enjoying being a housemaid. The tasks are cleaning, cooking, and helping Nina's daughter, Cece. Nina shows her everything in the house and says everything is in order. Millie sees a family of toys. The family is sitting at the dining table. Nina shows Millie the maid's room in the attic. Millie does not have a pleasant look when she sees the room. Nina says this is an interview and tells her she will decide soon. She gives Millie $20 for her time and gas, and Millie accepts it. Millie leaves the house. She has no hope of getting that job. She sleeps in her car. The next morning, the police wake her up. She tells them she is going to her mother's home. She says she pulled over for a little bit. She receives a call. She tells the police it is from her mother. The police leave saying, "Don't text and drive." The call is from Nina Winchester. She offers the job to Millie. Millie comes to the Winchester house. She enters the house. The first time the house was very clean and tidy, but this time the house is messy. Nina welcomes her. She mentions the PDA speech that has to be written. Nina notices that Millie is not wearing glasses like the first time. Andrew Winchester and Cece arrive. Nina comes and introduces Millie to them. Andrew welcomes Millie. Millie comes to her room. The window in the attic cannot be opened. The door can only be locked from outside. Nina comes to the room bringing dinner. Nina gives Millie a mobile phone. She says she has uploaded a credit card to it in case she needs to purchase things. Millie asks for the key to the door and tells her about the window. Nina says she will fix those problems. Millie gets up late. She gets out of bed and puts on her pants. She tries to open the door, but she cannot. Then it opens. When she comes down, Nina is screaming and smashing things. She asks Millie, "Where are my PTA notes?" Andrew comes to her. Nina tells him that Millie has thrown her PTA notes out. Andrew hugs Nina and tries to console her. Nina tells Millie, "You ruined my day." Millie starts to clean the area. Andrew tells her not to get upset. Millie goes outside to put the garbage bags into the bin. At that time, Enzo asks her, "What are you doing here?" "I work here," she replies. Millie asks him what he is doing there. Enzo is about to say something. Nina is looking through the window. Enzo sees her and leaves without saying anything. Millie also looks at the window and there is no one. Millie goes to clean the commode. She sees a pill in the water. She tries to open the cabinet behind the mirror. Nina appears. Nina tries to intimidate her. Millie is preparing a meal and Andrew is near her talking to her. Millie serves food to Cece. Cece gives Millie her glass and tells her to bring a new clean glass for juice. Andrew tries to build a friendship with Millie. Millie is checking Andrew's profile. Andrew comes in carrying a cake. He starts to kiss her. Millie wakes up from her dream. When Millie is preparing a meal, Nina appears behind her and tells her to be safe in the house. She gives the key to the door. She looks at the meal and says something to upset her. Millie is getting ready to go somewhere. Nina asks, "Where are you going?" She reminds her it is Saturday, the maid's day off. Nina says she cannot spare her today. She says she missed the hair salon because Millie threw her notes out. Millie says she has a meeting and asks for a few hours off. Then Andrew comes and tells her to let Millie go. He is ready to go out with Cece. Finally, Nina allows her to go. Millie comes to the Probation and Parole Services Department and meets the officer. The officer asks about leaving the previous job. Millie says she left it because of the new job she got. Millie gives her new address and new number. The officer warns her to take care of her actions, otherwise she will have to serve the remaining 5 years of the sentence. Millie gets a call from Nina. She tells her to pick up Cece from ballet class. She hangs up without telling where it is. Millie searches the location on the map. She comes to the class running because Nina told her not to be late. She meets a woman named Patrice. At that time, Cece comes and says she is going to spend a day at Emma's house. Millie is confused. Patrice calls Nina to confirm the situation. Patrice confirms that Cece will go with her. Andrew's mother shows the antique Chinese dishes she has brought. Nina tells Millie that she told Cece she is having a sleepover. She says there was no need to make a scene. Andrew's mother is displeased about Millie's dress. Evelyn says the dishes belong to her mother. Evelyn tells Millie to put them somewhere safe so Nina cannot smash them. Andrew arrives and hugs his mother. At night, Millie cannot sleep. She goes downstairs. She grabs something to eat and sits down to watch TV. Andrew comes and joins her. Andrew says Nina's parents died in a house fire when she was young. No one knows how it started. At that time, Nina comes. Andrew explains the situation and tries to leave the place. Nina looks upset and starts thinking. Millie is about to leave. Nina tells Millie this is not working and that she has to pack her things and leave. She asks for her mobile phone back. Millie tries to change her mind and asks for one more chance. Nina gives her 1 week. Millie leaves. Nina stops her and tells her to stay away from Andrew. Millie is preparing food while Nina is chatting with her friends. Suddenly, she says they're going to have a nanny. The others think she is pregnant and congratulate her. Then she says, "Not yet." Millie is listening. Then she receives a call. She leaves saying it is from the pediatrician. Then the other 3 women start to talk. They talk about her pregnancy and Andrew's charm. They also say Nina has spent 9 months in a mental hospital. Nina comes back. Millie is writing in her journal while sitting on her bed. Nina comes and says today was not a total disaster. She says Millie has to watch Cece on Saturday even though it's her day off. She says she and Andrew have an appointment in the city. Millie agrees. Millie and Cece go out together. Millie goes to the washroom and checks the medicine Nina keeps in the mirror cabinet. It is haloperidol, which is given to people with certain mental disorders. Millie calls her friend Lexi and asks for help to find a job. Cece hears that and asks, "Are you leaving?" Millie hangs up the phone and says no. Millie sees a troll doll in Cece's room. She asks her whether she went there. Nina comes and looks at the room. Andrew arrives after she leaves. Andrew asks Cece to go and play in her bedroom. Andrew starts to talk with Millie. He says he needs a lot of kids. He loves Cece, but Cece is not his biological daughter. Millie wakes up. She hears Nina screaming. It sounds like Andrew and Nina are having a fight. Millie knocks on the door. She has a knife with blood on her hand. Millie asks Andrew if he's okay. Nina laughs and says, "Did you overhear that PDA woman say I am crazy and I don't deserve my husband?" Andrew comes and takes the knife. He closes the door. The next day, Nina comes downstairs while Millie is working. She apologizes for not being honest about the baby. Nina gives Millie some extra clothes she has. Nina tells her to book tickets for a musical called Showdown and book a hotel for a full night. While Millie is waiting for Cece at her ballet class, she meets a woman named Suzanne. She asks Millie, "Are you with the Winchester family?" Millie says yes. Suzanne tells a story about Nina. She says Nina once tried to drown Cece in a bathtub when she was younger. At that time, Nina had also taken pills. Andrew called the police and saved the child. Millie comes home with Cece. Enzo is working nearby. Millie asks Enzo, "What do you know about this family?" Enzo says, "You shouldn't be here." Then Nina interrupts their conversation and tells Millie to leave him alone. Nina comes with the tickets Millie booked for the show and hotel. Nina asks, "Who told you to do this?" Millie says, "You told me to do it." Nina asks why she booked the tickets for the day she has to go to Washington for the art camp with Cece. She says the tickets are non-refundable and the cost will be cut from Millie's salary. Then Andrew comes. Nina tells him about the tickets and says they are non-refundable. Andrew tells her to call the credit card company and reverse the payment, but Nina refuses and goes inside. Andrew tells Millie she does not have to pay for it. On Saturday, Nina and Cece leave. Andrew sees Nina coming out of the washroom and avoids her. Andrew says he could not get the ticket refunded. Millie tells him to go with someone he knows, but Andrew says he has no one to go with. Andrew asks her to go with him for the day. Millie agrees. Millie and Andrew get ready to go. They go to watch a movie and have dinner. Andrew says he runs a data processing company that he inherited from his father. He says he wants to be a father and have children. He asks Millie to dance and they dance. They get 2 rooms at a hotel. Millie keeps receiving messages from Nina. She knocks on Andrew's door and shows him the messages. Andrew says he will talk to Nina. Millie says Nina wants to ruin her life. Andrew says he will not let her lose the job. Andrew kisses her. They spend the night together. They come home. When Nina comes back, Millie is preparing lunch. Nina asks how their night was. Nina asks if Millie learned to cook in prison. She tells Andrew Millie was in jail for 10 years. She says it's a pleasure to be part of Millie's journey. Nina gives a catalog to Millie and tells her to go buy items using her car. Millie goes shopping. While she is using her phone, Julian appears. She asks about the phone. She is happy to see Millie trusting them. Millie asks what she means. When Millie is ready to come home, the police arrest her. They say she is using a stolen car. Andrew comes and talks to the police. He brings Millie home. Andrew tells Nina to come downstairs. Nina accuses Andrew of sleeping with Millie while she was away. She blames Millie for taking her clothes. Millie says Nina gave them to her. Andrew stops Nina and says he wants her to leave. He says she cannot ruin this poor girl's life. Nina slaps Millie. She stops at the gate and starts crying. Andrew tells Millie to stay in the house. In the morning, Millie wakes up and prepares breakfast. When she is carrying the dishes, she sees Enzo staring through the window. Andrew comes downstairs. Millie tells him what happened. Andrew goes to Enzo. "You are fired. The Chinese porcelain dishes that Andrew's mother gifted have been broken." Andrew tells Millie she does not have to do the housework. He tells her not to throw away the broken pieces. Millie collects the broken pieces. She walks around the house and laughs. She feels relieved and safe. She sees the family of toys again. The father and the child are sitting at the dining table. The mother is lying in a hospital bed. Andrew comes home and sees that the plate pieces have been collected by Millie. He asks her why she did not clean them. They go to the room in the attic. Millie wakes up. All the things in the room are gone. The door is locked. Andrew is on the other side of the door. She tells him to open it. Andrew leaves without opening it. Millie thinks it's a game. When Andrew tells Nina to leave, she stops at the gate and screams, then laughs and leaves the house. Nina is dancing, drinking, and listening to music. Nina's parents died when she was 8 due to a house fire. She grew up in foster homes. While growing up, she had to deal with many problems. She fell in love with a married professor and had a baby together. The professor did not care about her or the child. She abandoned her degree and got a job at an institution as a secretary. The boss yelled at her. There was breast milk on her dress. Andrew was in that meeting and he noticed Nina. Andrew came and talked to her. Nina fell in love with him because of his wealth and appearance. Andrew proposed to her. They got married. Andrew comes to Nina while she is preparing meals. Andrew notices something wrong with her hair. He tells her to go to a salon and fix it. That night, Nina comes home after going out. Andrew comes to her and says he made some notes during a meeting and now they cannot be found. He tells Nina to go and look for them in the attic room. Nina goes there and opens the door. There are no files in the room. Andrew closes the door and says he is very disappointed in her. He says her hair is a privilege and needs to be taken care of. He says it is embarrassing to have a wife showing her roots. Nina says she will get her hair fixed. He slides an envelope under the door. He tells her to pluck 100 hairs from her scalp with the roots intact. She keeps asking him to open the door. Andrew says he is sorry and leaves. Nina screams through the attic window. There is only a water bottle in the attic. Andrew does not open the door. Then she starts to pluck her hair. She puts the hairs in the envelope and slides it under the door. Andrew comes back. He slides the envelope back and says one strand does not have a follicle. He tells her to start again. Nina starts plucking her hair again. This time she does it correctly. Andrew opens the door. Nina comes out and runs looking for Cece. When she reaches Cece, she feels dizzy. She falls on the floor. Andrew has drugged her through the water. Nina wakes up. She goes looking for Cece. She sees Cece in the bathtub. Suddenly, the police arrive and arrest Nina. The police assume Nina took drugs and tried to drown her baby. Psychiatrists, police officers, and doctors do not believe her story. Nina has to spend 9 months in a psychiatric hospital. Everyone believes Andrew is a handsome and unlucky husband with a crazy wife. Nina is labeled as a dangerous and unstable mother. Andrew wants children and tries to have a baby with Nina, but Nina does not allow herself to conceive. She blackmails the doctor to say she cannot have children. If Nina does anything wrong, she is locked up. Enzo tries to help Nina. He makes fake passports for them, but Andrew finds them. Nina is sent back to the mental hospital. If Nina tries to escape, Andrew hunts her down and drags her back. Andrew becomes a hero. Nina cannot die because of her daughter. Enzo meets Nina. He tells her to run away with Cece. He says he will take care of Andrew. Nina says Andrew will never let her go. Enzo asks how. Nina says she is looking for someone who can attract Andrew. Andrew will try to possess her. Nina learns about Millie. She is blonde and pretty. She went to jail for murder. Millie has all the qualities Nina is looking for. Millie is trying to escape. Andrew comes and calls her. He says now the dish is broken into 21 pieces. He gives Millie a piece and tells her to carve 21 lines on her belly. The lines should be long and deep. Millie pounds on the door. When Millie was in school, she saw her roommate going into their room with a boy. When she went inside, she saw them having sex. Millie grabbed the glass and hit the boy on the head. Millie tried to do the right thing. The dead boy was rich. Her roommate denied everything. Millie was sentenced to 15 years in prison. She was released on parole after 10 years. She lost her previous job because she saw the owner, Charlie, touching a girl. Millie is thinking in the dark. She finds the small knife kept by Nina. She starts to carve 21 lines. Andrew comes in. He tries to calm her down. He says, "I want to live with you, but there is a consequence for your actions." Andrew looks at the lines. Suddenly, Millie stabs Andrew in the neck with a small knife. She grabs her phone. Andrew tries to catch her. Millie manages to escape. She locks Andrew inside the room. She notices there is a camera in the room. Everything can be seen and recorded. Millie comes downstairs and starts to eat. Andrew's mother has left a message asking whether he served the divorce papers. Millie takes all the antique Chinese dishes. She goes to the room. She gives Andrew a pair of pliers and tells him to pull out his teeth because she wants to destroy the smile that drives women crazy. Andrew refuses and says he will not pull out his teeth. Millie reminds him about the consequences. Millie starts throwing the Chinese antiques onto the floor. Millie pours gasoline under the door. She threatens to burn the house down. Andrew finally takes the pliers and pulls out a tooth. Millie rests while watching a movie. She watches Andrew through the camera. Nina arrives at the Winchester house. She believes Millie is still in the attic. She goes to open the door. Millie wakes up and checks the phone. Andrew is not visible on the camera. Millie runs to the attic. Nina is opening the door. Millie tells her to stop. Andrew gets out. He hits Nina. Millie hits Andrew back. Andrew starts chasing Millie. Millie manages to escape by hitting him again. Andrew looks for Millie. He hears a voice from upstairs. Andrew goes upstairs and sees Nina. He talks to her calmly. He tries to persuade her to come back to him. Nina refuses and calls him a liar. Millie comes from behind and pushes him. Andrew falls and dies. Nina tells Millie to run and never come back. Millie keeps Andrew's tooth near the body. The police arrive and question Nina. The officer says she knows something about Andrew. Andrew was once engaged to the officer's sister, Kathleen. 8 years ago, Kathleen came to the officer's house in the middle of the night. She had completely changed. The officer says she will record the incident as a strange household accident.